All my young years, especially in school, I never really had the term self-control in my mind. It was never really a thing that I did or had in my life. I remember I would blow up a lot of times. When I mean self-control, I mean like blowing up in anger, getting angry, sometimes using violence against my other classmates. I was never the quiet, controlled kid. There was a lot of times where I resorted to violence. I remember this one time, I don't know what happened or how it happened, but this kid in my class, basically I was eating a sandwich and he knocked it out of my hand onto the floor and it just fell out, so my whole lunch was gone. And instead of me rationally just sorting out the situation, I literally just slapped him across the face. He had braces like me now, so he started bleeding and everything, and it was a bit painful, and he was crying and everything. It wasn't even that hard, but he was a bit of a soft kid, so. But a lot of things I resorted with violence, or I never really had self-control. I never was the type to be calm. Like I said, I'd always burst out in anger, burst out with all a lot of different things. So for me right now, I am so grateful of how far I have become on my self-improvement journey. Not only I have gained more self-control over these years, but I don't indulge in adult content. And I can control myself, I can control my body. Because if we don't have self-control, then we're literally just doing what everyone else wants us to do. There's a couple of stories I want to share with you. The first one was, I remember when I could have probably been 9, 10. This was a time in my life where I had hardly no friends. I don't know how this happened. I can't vaguely remember. I just remember me being on this high hill in this bush, throwing big fat chunks of rocks. There were probably 6 kids chasing me. So it was me versus 6 kids. They were chasing me. I was just at the top of this hill, hurtling down these big sharp rocks at them. That could have ended really, really bad, that could have hit someone's kid's skull and break it open, maybe even worse, killed him. But yeah, self-control wasn't really any term in me. I remember when this was, I think, the first time where I actually got really, really angry. And that was when we were building these huts in school in our bush. There were two groups. One group, another group, and then from my group, everyone started leaving to the other group. And then at their hut, something broke, some tree got cut down, and they didn't know who it was. So the kid in my group told them it was me, even though it wasn't me. And for me, this was really frustrating. I was really angry because I knew I didn't do it, of course. So I threw an anger management session. I was literally just bashing these trees with a stick, just destroying things. I could have been 10. And then another time I found really funny looking back at it now was, I was 10 as well. It was probably the same year. We had this substitute teacher in a way. He was a dick. He was a dick. He was a bit of a pedo at girls, but he was a dick. So I remember us doing we were doing this big drawing in our books. And I happened to have my book upside down, so I did this big drawing. It genuinely looked nice, but it was the other way around. And we're done with the class, and he was just pestering me. He was annoying. And then he tells me, oh, looks like you're gonna have to rip that page out and do it all over again. Instead of the rational decision was that she just pull the staples out, turn it around, put it back in. Would have been fine. But he told me this. I got so upset at him. It was just me, the teacher, and my friend in the class, I started yelling at him. I told him that I would beat him up, that he was gonna be scared and everything. It was pretty funny. My mate was laughing, but the whole reason I'm saying this is because I never had self-control. Like, looking back at it, I could have approached this way better. I could have, like, approached these situations in a better way. I could have reacted to this better and changed the outcome of then what the outcome actually was. So let's say the first story, I was throwing rocks at kids. It's a vague story. I can't really remember much about it, but probably the better solution would be not throwing rocks. Although, yeah, it was pretty fun and funny looking back at it now, but especially the part where they thought I cut down the tree, Logically speaking, I could have just gone up to them and say, like, no, it wasn't me, but kids at 10 years old don't think like that. We don't, like, think and talk rationally amongst ourselves as human beings. And then especially with my teacher, there could have been a better way to talk to him. But he was just a dick, honestly. He was just a dick. No one really liked him. He still is a dick. I wonder how he's doing. But he was a bit of a pedo, creeping on girls and everything. I think he actually got, like, not suspended from the school, but some shit like that. He wasn't allowed to teach the high school girls because he was, like, looking at them weird and, like, talking to them weird. He was a messed up guy. But what I'm trying to explain here is that the term self-control, everything is connected. So pretty much I could have reacted to these in better ways, and I had so much more, like, violent situations and everything at school, and it was always me getting told off because, yeah, I was the one always starting the shit. But to be honest, I'm really, like, thankful and grateful through these times that I've gone, because maybe I wouldn't have been here where I am right now. Because a man especially has to have a real good, like, high level of self-control. You have to be able to control your body, control yourself, especially control your emotions. What I would have done is, or now what I really do is, I'm just cool, calm, and collected. If someone gets angry at me, I'm just, like, calm. Because people that start yelling at you, people that are upset, people that are mean, you will fuel them by yelling back at them. So it'll just be two headless chickens yelling at each other. You're not achieving anything. If you're cool and calm, it's so easy to see the person who's in control. It's never the person who starts yelling or doing stuff. He is never in control. He's probably got some issues or something. The people that can rationalize and explain the situation to each other and go from there when they're calm, that's already far, far, far better than the person that's just going to be yelling at you. I had this place in my old work. It was basically to do with, like, timber. We cut and we give people timber. And this guy, he needed some sizing. And long story short, he was just being a dick to me. I didn't do anything to him. I just said, hi, hello. I was being, nice, polite customer service. He was just being a dick. He started, like, saying some offensive words in his language. I'm not going to say the country. But he was just saying some shit to me. And I was pretty new to this job. I think I was, like, 2 months in. And this was my first, like, ever shit customer. So I didn't really know what to do. I was kind of more like a little bitch pussy, pretty much. So that I was like, oh, okay, like, sorry. I should have literally just been like, bro, I'm not serving you, like, get the fuck out of here. I should have called a manager and we would have gotten him trespass, but yeah. Long story short, that guy just ruined my day. And it's so easy for someone to ruin your day if you've got, like, that mentality. If you genuinely just don't care, like, and you tell yourself this guy was probably like molested by his uncles when he was younger. It's going to be far better and easier for you. And that's probably the true fact. He probably was like touched and everything when he was younger because of the race he was. And I'm literally just judging because of the race he was. Like I said, I'm not saying this because I don't want to expose some people. I don't want to get exposed, but that was my first like in workplace bad encounter. So it left not like, it was just basically annoying and it kind of ruined my day for me. But I could have reacted to that differently if I just had self-control. And I do see myself getting like better and better at these things. Because especially when there's an argument, I'm usually the one who's calm. I've seen that works the best for me. Instead of just yelling and doing anything, you're gonna look weak, especially if you're yelling. You're not gonna get your point proven if you're gonna be yelling at that person. Plus, this isn't just like self-control on yelling or having bad times in school. It's literally to do with everything. It's to do with fapping, because you will get urges, you will get these thoughts that you want to go relapse and everything, which is fine. Bro, I just want to tell you right now, I've been on this path like you. I've literally been consumed in pornography. My brain has been fucked pretty much with all this like porn and shit. And I couldn't pretty much have self-control and tell myself, or not tell myself, just like, don't do it, you know? So I understand. I understand how hard it is for you. I've made this whole like no fap guide. It's a course on it. It's the top link in the description. So I understand that it's difficult, and especially if you're in a household that's not nice. Maybe someone's yelling or something happens, but usually most of the time when that happens, there's a good reason for it. Especially if your parents are yelling at you, there probably is a good reason for it. Just look at it, find the reason, talk to them, and it'll be fine. Like my mum, I don't want to get too personal into my life, but there were times where my mum got really mad at me and she was yelling at me because I was home and I didn't do this and I didn't do that. And it got annoying and she wasn't really communicating properly to me. So I literally just sat her down and I was like, Mum, can you not yell at me? Can we like talk like normal human beings? Like I will step up my A game and I will do more things in this house. You know the good thing? I literally started doing more chores and I didn't even hate it because I was the only one home, so I sometimes do this, I'd clean that. She got home and she was like a happy butterfly. She saw that I actually tried, that I did things, and she never yelled anymore. So if you've got some situation or something, just communicate with the other person. It's going to be way better than yelling at each other because you're not going to get anywhere. It's the same thing with self-control and dating. You need to have like a level of self-control so you don't end up with the wrong people. There's a quote that it's like, you don't go shopping when you're hungry because you buy the wrong things. The same thing with, you don't go dating because you might grab the wrong one. So you have to have self-control in these things. You have to know when the person is right for you, when the person is not. And it's a really hard thing because, bro, especially maybe right now you don't have any attention from girls. Maybe you're just leveling up in your journey. Maybe no girls are really attracted to you, and then maybe some girls will be, but those girls aren't really good quality. But you'll naturally talk to them. You'll naturally more be interested in them because that's the only thing you've gotten. That's the only thing you've gotten in your whole entire time. So I understand how it is because I've been there. I've made that mistake where I've got into a relationship that lasted 1 year. Yes, I learned a lot from it, but also I kind of just destroyed not my 1 year life. Like it was a good time, but the girl was a hoe, and I knew it. She had problems in her past. She had problems with her life, and I knew that, but I looked away because it was kind of the only attention and I was desperate. So I don't want you to make that mistake. I really don't. You have to control like these sort of things, and especially your emotions. Because when I was in my relationship, it would have been so easy for both of us just start yelling at each other. But I was always the calm one. So when she got mad and everything, I was always just the one who was calm. Because to me, calmness sorts out so much more. You can think properly. You're not in this like aggressive fight mode. You're just cool, calm, and you can deal with the problem. There was a quote that Andrew Tate said, and I'll leave you with that I really liked. He said that the man who can't control his emotions is a dangerous man. Click here to watch this next video. See ya.